Today we are introducing the book The New Rules of Sales and Service by David Meerman Scott. The author illustrates with various examples how to run a company in a way that best suits sales and after-sales service in the internet age. Let's spin the wheel of time a little and go back to the 1990s. Scott begins by saying, when asked the question of what comes to your mind as a service and sales representative at the time, he was a man who somehow acted as if he had to sell a product to our head. Beware of the sales representative. If you listen to the story with a mercy, the cash will vanish. When it comes to sales, many people think that have to change face mum to say no. Well, if you remember what the customer service center means to you, your phone call very important to us. But we just do not have enough people to pick up your phone and talk, and after listening to so many rounds of music and commercials, the technical speech and language of the person after picking up the phone will make us stumble, says Scott. In those days it was common practice for a customer to run away from sales representative in fear of him, and customers will makes a call and irritates a customer service center without knowing anything about the product. Someone who has just bought a computer and called a customer service center, it shows press any key on my computer screen. But if there is no any key button on the keyboard. It just happened on those days. But is that the case today? When a customer comes to a sales representative, they clearly know what they needs. Sometimes what the customer knows is not known to the sales representative. This is because customers get instant or real-time information through websites. The sales representative is called in only after they are fully understood about the required product and service. We are living in the age of customer calling a sales representative instead of sales rep calling a customer, said Scott. In particular, it is the customer who decides whom to do business with them. Smart companies understand this difference and act accordingly, adapting their sales strategy and agents accordingly. One of the biggest problems facing sales reps since the advent of the internet has been one thing. Customers know a lot more in detail than sales reps. Customers saw him as a specialist when sales representatives were expert. Now, at the first meeting, the customer speaks to the sales representative as, "You are oldest to the thing where I had been." Cold call, which is meeting the customer without prior notice or request, is not possible in this context. Because the customer knows exactly what he wants? They clearly know who should supply it. The sales representative had direct contact with the customer in those days. He was the bridge between the company and the customer. Today, however, customers are in touch with the sales representative's boss and the company's chairman through Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Why, sometimes customers are even in touch with the founder of the company. It is not easy to sell a product or service to customers who have such information and direct contact with the management, and none of the old-fashioned sales techniques will help the sales representative. Since the advent of the internet, marketing and public relations have undergone the how much amount of change in the last 15 years, and sales and services are now undergoing the same amount of change. In the age of the internet, sales reps need to keep in mind and act as if that the last person customer meets when they think of buying a product or service is the sales representative. Before that, it is good to understand and keep in mind and act accordingly that they met many people in the company and know the overall history of the company before they are coming to them. Since the sales representative has nothing new to say about the product or service to customers who end up with sales representatives, it is enough to only collaborate to make the sale happen, says Scott, author of the book. 100 years ago, customers knew who was selling various items such as wooden boxes and shoes. They had a personal concern. Good, quality materials and warm service were available. Then the companies got bigger. New figures appeared as sales representatives. This is how to dress, this is how to speak, this is what to speak, the screenplay, the script was all written. This is the age of the internet. It is not possible to say who the customer will talk to, stay in touch about everything. The quality of truth can be easily understood if one tells contradictory information to another. To avoid this situation, everyone should be in the same rhythm. The purchasing manager of the company says, "We will be careful when we choose the raw materials," and have a link through the social network with the head of the company that supplies the third-grade raw material. Won't this cheat get on the viral? If you ask what leads to large-scale sales success? The author says, it just so happens that the customer who reads and understands superb online descriptions of goods with services, and meets a competent sales representative who has all the business intricacies at their fingertips. We are all in a situation where business is only going to be profitable if we go for online sales through the internet. It is good for everyone to read this book, which tells about the new skills required for sales and service in this situation.